of Heretics. They only lose one member in that process. No surprise considering Heretics was on base pistols for the most part. But now the full buy will come out from Heretics. AK's already being purchased by Lucky and Kiyashima. There is not the funds there for an AWP, so it'll just be the AKs and utility. SMG's being carried over by Yumpy and Saul, so trying to play a little bit of a bonus round on their front. So we are going to see that mid control being taken by Heretics. But look at CT's playing aggressive, Vince.
They're ready. They want to spring into action. After losing 4 players, they did a great job of holding on, where Heretics had pretty much invested nothing. That's pretty much bypassed all of that initial damage. They thought about going aggressive. They were listening for footsteps from an aggro peak. It didn't come into play, so they fall back. I like that from Havu. Aggression, but controlled.
Yeah, they faded back once they realized that, you know, underpass could be flanked and then they could potentially get shot in the back if they held top mid for too long. So being able to fade back, but at least deny that space from Heretics for a good amount of time and mean that they don't have as much leeway to work things out. They're going to have to make decisions a little bit faster now on where they want to take this bomb. As they do have kind of just a standard 1-3-1 with Maka playing inside the Palace. We do have Keo playing inside the B apartments. No surprise there. Again, Keo's a very flexible player in what types of positions he's going to take. They are going to be able to get control of connector, however. They have positioning under window also. So they're definitely going to be going for that A crunch play with people in middle to be able to cut off rotations at window and catwalk. So all in all, Heretics are pretty well set up, especially with the CTs, you know, having limited firepower here with 2 SMGs still in play. So it's going to be a big ask here. But that SMG up close on A ramp could be a big problem.
Time also becoming a bit of a nuisance on Heretics. 20 seconds. Still yet to get any casualties. Any corpses littering the map. A real issue. The T's have got to pressure in right now. They need success and they get it, but it's at the cost of Lucky's life. And Ozori pushed at the back of the site will do the rest. Heretics far too slow. Have given themselves nowhere near enough time to win this round. And to make matters worse, they've lost Nivera after time. He has $350 in his bank account.
He's still doing better than me, Vince. So, I mean, there is that. He can hold on to that one, I suppose. But yeah, as you said, I think Heretics, when they got stalled at middle initially, they got it back, and I thought that it was good discipline from Havu, but also good patience from Heretics to be able to get that mid control. But as you noted, they just took a little bit too long. Once they got control of connector and they started forming up outside A ramp, it felt like they needed to pull the trigger, but that counter smoke from Havu, they were concerned that a player was up close on ramp, which they were correct about, but they didn't really have a way to handle it. They didn't seem to have that oomph they needed to just go for it, to just throw their way in, which is a little bit uncharacteristic of them. They seemed a little bit too hesitant, and now they're back on a save, and they've already lost a player. So Havu might take the lead right back, and it'll be the first time they've had a lead since their 4-0 start.
Not quite there just yet, though.
True.
Lucky making sure that they are at least tentative about pushing forward. Goes in for a boost, not too far off. Both players taking damage. Lucky giving as good as he takes, though. And now Molly put down onto ramp. None of the T's currently residing there. They're making inroads over on the B side of the map, taking that middle control, and now trying to exploit the B apps. 2 players will be coming head-to-head. Aggression from Slowy up close to the M4, dispatching of Kiyashima and dropping the bomb down in a heartbeat. In the blink of an eye, this round should be over.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? With just a Deagle and P250 left in place, running through the smoke in desperation. Slowy will lick his chops at that prospect, getting the hat trick on the round. He is certainly one of the names you always have to look at on Havu, and he's certainly been performing well here with 18 kills, just behind Dotto at 22 for leading on his team. So we're going to catch the replay here. Good defense from Saul, because I mean, if they could have gotten through Murder Hole and gotten into the CT spawn, that could have really made things more difficult to handle, but they were able to pick up on that. Full buy and play, double op. That we were talking about that pre-match, Vince, that we should see Zori and Yampi both sniping, and they are going to be doing it this round.
Oh no, XMS is going in alone. There was no second player pivoting out of Palace. Dotto with the easiest opening couple of frags that he could ask for, and then picks up a third. And this is Heretics waiting to get this buy and instantly get repelled. They try an audacious play, they get punished, and now Dotto up close could even be getting the 4th kill. Beautiful flashbang tossed in from Zori, and just getting destroyed at Heretics. They never stood a chance.
XMS having nightmares. He's like, I thought I got away from that type of stuff happening when I stopped playing with Happy a long time ago. just having to run in by myself and get owned. But that round, I'm not sure if it was some type of like perfectly timed counter utility that I kind of missed that broke up that attack, or if they thought their flashbangs were going to be more effective to feed XMS in, or if it was just, you know, trying to do something a little bit unorthodox, just trying to creep up a ramp, try to catch someone off guard. Either way, it just did not pan out. Havu were more than prepared for that type of attack. Got all the frags in this round up until that one. Keo finally does respond with one of his own, but I mean, not really a whole lot he's going to be able to do off the back of that, you'd have to imagine. He's had a pretty good game all in all, but this would be, I think, a bridge too far for him. Should be a 12th round for Havu. They will have won the last 6 in a row. No T rounds from Heretics except for the pistol victory. And their economy is in tatters on top of that. So the chance to kind of build back up and respond is going to be something they're going to have to wait on a little bit longer. And they're also kind of running out of breathing room to pull that off. So something's got to give here soon for them, or despite all their great efforts to come back in the first half, it all might be for naught, Vince.
Yeah, they are seemingly coming up a bit short when it comes to their T side, and that bridge you're talking about had some charges planted down, gets detonated just so Kirishima can save his own life and keep that AK. The problem is they don't really have too much behind that. If they do go in for a force, if they may feel compelled to do so when Kirishima's down for like $200, it's not going to be great. They decide not to.
It's just unfortunate because when XMS is running in like that, you're limited on what you're able to check at once. So we kind of had to turn a blind eye to sandwich position to be able to focus on firebox and the site itself. And it just so happened that Dada was playing that position, which is not that common, to be honest. Like, most CTs do not play inside sandwich. It can usually be mollied out by a set piece or something like that. But he happened to be at the right place at the right time and really just kind of threw a wrench that entire round. And now we're going to see kind of this eco push from Heretics onto the A side. So far, they've already lost 1 player.
Oh, grenade damage is so deadly for Heretics. Straight in the head of Kirishima. Nevera, who is tagged up, has been finished off by Sort. And Heretics not really getting anything in return. It's not as if they've pushed onto the site, and because they've been slowed down so much, now Slowy will show his hand. Not for the first time, going for the long con flank. Will not miss the headshot, executing Kirishima, and Havu steamroll ahead to a 13-10 lead.
Yeah, now it's last chance saloon for Heretics. This is the gun round that you have to win. This is going to be the best spot that they've had in quite some time. Keo sacrifices, gets a Mac 10 to be able to get all the utility he can, and the op will be in the hands of Nevera. This was just kind of easy pickings for Havu, clamping down that retake from all angles. But again, this is the big round that Heretics need to push through. They're, again, just kind of playing mostly default mid-control to kick things off with. Though Keo is looking to get a very assertive in the B apartments. He's found the kill with the Mac 10 and collected an op. Might be able to find seconds here if Slowy gets a little bit too antsy, but it seems like they will just kind of fade back for now.
This round, they've been completely set up for another Slowy long flank. So they know that they have, by and large, control of the map. The only positions they don't have any idea over are the likes of Palace. For all they know, someone could have pushed into Palace, gone a bit aggressively, so they need to be wary of this. Now, we know in the past, they have basically ran themselves out of time, so that'll probably be in the back of their minds here. They don't want to rinse and repeat that mistake again.
No, certainly not. They have plenty of time now, though. They already have A-ramp control. They do have positioning inside connector. Here's the problem, though. Old Slowy's up to his old tricks again. He's already through B apartments, already into T-spawn. This will be the 3rd or 4th time he's done this already this half. This time he doesn't go all the way through, though. He's actually coming back to top middle to help control that. And in the meantime, it's given up the entire A site, and Havu are so out of position now to really do anything about this. So this should be going the way of Heretics. There shouldn't really be a whole lot Havu can say about this one. Heretics is finally able to maneuver across the map a little bit better, get some good entries. Got to give a shout, obviously, to Keo, getting that first pick with the Mac 10 inside B apartment, stealing that second op away. Nevera also pitched in with a pretty big op frag in his own right, and so that will be 11 for Heretics for keeping the game close, Vince. Exactly what we expected. A very scrappy game that's got 2 teams that are fairly evenly matched, just clashing over and over again in very chaotic rounds.
I like the idea from Slowy as well. Even though the round is done, the overall map isn't. The war has not been raged fully yet on this map. So try and keep their economy down as much as you can, and I can catch up with them later on. You can see Mac is down to 3.5k, but obviously one of his teammates can drop for him, no problems. This is more about the next round. If they were to concede again, Heretics would be in a spot of bother. So Havu keeping themselves in. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned it before about Slowy's flank. I feel like a flank is only as good as the foundations on which you're flanking to. So if A site dies, the flank is basically useless at that point. And that's exactly what happened.
Can agree with that, as we are again seeing Heretics open up default, but they have a little bit more opping power in the process. Maka's got the other AWP, no surprise, right? To be taking it through Palace, maybe looking towards a pick at jungle. There is a CT in the smoke, though, that Nevera is going to have to contest with, and he's going to find the timing but can't land the shot. That's big for Havu to get that player out of there. He was in very dangerous waters, but he was able to find a way out. And Saul still holding his ground inside connector. Again, mid's been taken from Heretics, but they haven't made any progress yet in those main points you want to be getting, whether it comes to be connector or whether it be ladder. They just haven't gotten that yet, and they've already suffered a pick as well on the A ramp. At least Kio's able to respond back with the pick onto the B site.
Blow for blow, the two teams go, and now Saw trying to use that small gap in the smoke, runs into another one. Slowy, knowing he's the last line of defense and he's about to get pincered from the push from B-Apps, try as he may, falls short, and a good flick from Nevera. Much more difficult than the previous shot he missed on Catwalk. At least he makes amends for that miss. And Havu, they have to dip out, they have to save. The two top fraggers, Kiyoshima having impact again on 26. Dotto, 2 ahead of him on 28. Very well played by the both of them.
Yeah, again, it's Kiyoshima just having this impact, playing that aggressive lurk role on that B side of the map. That is so awesome to see him be able to be so comfortable in that apartment's position, because it just creates so much havoc. When he's able to get picks, it leaves the B bomb site very vulnerable. It forces rotations. It gives his teammates more space all across the map, and it gives you the opportunities to kind of open up your flow chart a bit more on what decisions you can make in the mid rounds. And it's just really helped Heretics kind of dig themselves out of a hole where they went, 7 rounds uncontested. And now they've won a couple in a row. They're keeping the score close. They're getting their economy back in order. And it just seems like they're starting to hit their stride.
A flurry of rounds back to back. Heretics proving they do have some grit left in them yet. Lucky, flashbang out, holding position, which is for the better of Heretics, really, considering that Havu have gone aggressively again.
Yep.
Falls back to what you touched on before, though, Dust. They know that is has a sell-by date, that position. Zori, though, does flick in onto Keo. That's a huge pick.
Yeah, they're kind of using that aggression at middle to kind of set up Zori's op inside the B apartments. I like that he's been dynamic in his starting locations and kind of giving Heretics different looks. And obviously, B apartments is always an option for offers. It can be risky sometimes, but he was able to find the right timing there to get a good opening pick. Nevera, though, has responded with one of his own over towards connector. That's going to even it right back up to a 4-on-4. We've seen so many of these mid-round close number situations, and Dotto getting Palace is going to be great news for Havu. All of Heretics are just focused out in middle. They have no real leverage anywhere else, so they had to kind of just gather up and hope for the best, Vince. They had to just kind of try to trade their way into something.
Oh no, Slowy with the spray joined alongside Dotto. The timing could not have been worse. They threw in the Molotov anticipating it would lock down the angle, but Slowy was already in position. He just had to hold down M1, and the rest is history. Heretics trail by 2 now.
I'm just so surprised to see Heretics' team side just be this sloppy, but at the same time, it goes back to the pick ban, Vince. We discussed how, yeah, Havu would have kind of mixed results in their own right on Mirage, but Heretics, this is one of the worst matches that they actually play, right? I mean, they obviously have their permaban they don't play at all. That's going to be technically their worst map, but of the match they actually do have to play, Mirage is definitely towards the lower end of it. I think you're seeing an illustration of that. They just don't really seem to be as polished here as they might be on a Nuke or a Dust 2 or some of the other maps that they've been able to rely upon for success throughout, different portions this year. And it seems like Havu's really been able to tap into that despite, kind of coming in with their own roster situation.
Certainly were some doubts coming into this as to Heretics' ability, and I think you're spot on. We've seen some of those glaring weaknesses come to light. Havu have done their best to capitalize. It hasn't been a complete bloodbath, though. Heretics have stood their ground time and time again. There could still be a twist or two left in this. Looked as though Heretics would just bow out at one point on this second half. They did mount a bit of a comeback, and they're still in this round, still in this match, but they need to start turning it around in their favor. XMS, 38 seconds left. We've been here before, and they do concede the first frag, not for the first time by the hands of Slowy. And now Saw goes back in to look through connector. Another pick. This time it's Zori's AWP that rings out from Tollbooth. Makazin's not able to punish him. Lines up the Molotov and gets smashed down where he stands, leaving Kirishima 1v5 with 18 seconds, and he falls and stumbles at the second hurdle. Havu, 3 map points.
Yeah, I mean, I think the story of this game is that both teams' T-sides have looked quite grim. It's just that, fortunately for Havu, they were able to at least have that hot start off of the pistol and anti-eco, so that gave them a little bit more cushion coming into their own defense. But neither team has really lit the world on fire offensively, Vince. I have to say, it seems like both teams have really just been limited on what they know how to do on this map, and how they handle those mid-round situations has been questionable. But in the end, it looks like Heretics might be the one biting the bullet on this one, unless they can figure out a way to work out this round. It's going to be limited utility. A Galil for Lucky. Just seems like all they've really rely upon is Keo finding big openings and being able to just immediately rattle off the back of that. Can they hope for that again? I guess is the big question here, as they are lining up at B.
This could be the valiant, heroic last stand, as Heretics try to pummel their way, blunt force their way in, but the utility is on point. Maka, Nevera already smacked down, 20 and 50 HP respectively. Molotov perfectly placed, and a flashbang, or actually it's a smoke behind it, just to cordon them off for a little bit longer. They'll be feeling like they're being choked out of this slowly but surely. However, there are still 50 seconds left. It has happened often, Dust, absolutely.
I mean, they got choked out at A couple of different times, and Slowy was able to flank them because of it. So, I mean, it's just a constant issue that they've been facing. And again, they have no territory anywhere else on the map. So they have to just kind of keep going for this.
And Slowy playing up close behind that smoke. There's another one. He still stands a little bit longer, but that's information. And another incendiary put behind it. It doesn't seem like Heretics have too much life left in them yet on Mirage. Yampi misses his shot, but it's not as if he will get punished for that miss. And now Maka joined alongside Lucky, left alive. Make it just Lucky. With 13 seconds to go, his AWP through the smoke will miss, and Havu pick up the first map. It was a bit of a whimper at the end for Heretics, but well played by the Finnish squad.
Yeah, it's so crazy how that played out. I mean, yeah, we did see Havu have the hot start in the first half, but then it was dire from that point forward. I mean, Heretics dominated that half. I mean, I think that the 9-6 score didn't really even illustrate it fully. It felt like Heretics could have easily had double digits on their CT side, and then it looked like after they won pistol in the second half that they really could work on to something great, but I mean, they just did not have their own game plan established offensively, and Havu were able to take full advantage of that. That double op came into play a lot for them. Their aggression on CT side was working. Slowy's flanks through B apartments were a constant nuisance, and they were able to figure it out. And we'll discuss it a little bit further, but not before we take a short break. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
I was building on the lecture, verses coming daily under pressure. Working on the plot and the scheme, the true stock trademark is at the edge of your dreams. I'm talking one shot for the kill, the priest cut, freeze up, straight dropping the chills. I'm talking taking over pieces and shares, a bomb race sky high, check the movement is here, yeah. It's one shot, now the future is yours, go, yeah. It's one shot, now the future is yours, go. It's one shot. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. The memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. We put the bars in the brakes. I'm talking one chance at best, yes. Painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is our teacher, under pressure, now we blessed. See, I was so go for the go. It's one shot, now the future is yours, go. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours, go.